And a good evening it is, Njiri Peterson. So today, guys, I have one of the best topics ever. One of the best topics ever. And today we're gonna be focusing on a question. We're gonna be focusing on bringing two perspectives together, and then when you combine them, so that we can have an answer to something. And but this video, guys, is just for an interactive session. You can comment below and say what you think could be done, or elaborate further. The first, the second, yeah, and the points in it. Make it a interactive session. So the first, the question was whether poverty is God made or religiously made, and this has been tried to been solved many years ago, but it's been complex. And this, I think, according to the research I was doing, according to the research, it can only be approached from different theological and sociological perspective within Christianity. Within Christianity. And when I talk about Christianity, guys, although I don't want to stray you, not I'm not talking only about Christianity alone. Also can be used on other religion based on their beliefs, their cultural beliefs. So now, without taking far much time, let's read the 2 points. And the third thing we are going to do is to combine them both. So when we hit the theological perspective theory, so that we can be able to see how we can tackle the issues that is arising mostly in our continent, Africa. And the first one is God's plan and human will. Remember, the first thing we talked about, the first aspect that we said we'll be looking at is theological perspective. So God's plan and human will. I'm just going to read out, and then now on the third will be, when we combine them both, we'll be elaborating further. So some theological perspective emphasizes God's sovereignty and believe that everything, including economic circumstances, is part of God's plan. However, this does not negate the concept of human will and the responsibility to address social issues. Another point here is stewardship and responsibility. Another point under theological perspective. The first point was God's plan and human will. The second will be stewardship and responsibility. Christianity often teaches the concept of stewardship, emphasizing that humans are stewards of God's creation. Responsible use of resources, care for the vulnerable, and social justice are important themes within Christianity or Christian teaching. So the second thing, remember we said we are going to take these, both of them, and we combine them to see if we'll be having a solution here. So the second thing is sociological perspective and structural injustice. Sociologically, poverty is often seen as a result of structural issues, systemic injustice, and economic disparities. Some argue that these issues are human-made rather than directly caused by God. Of course, that was the first point. The second point, under sociological perspective, is human agency and accountability. Sociological perspectives also highlights the role of human agency and societal structures in shaping economic conditions. Poverty is seen as a consequence of human decision, policy, and social system. You see, this is not theological. These are the consequences and sociological perspectives. And the first one is human decisions. I don't know if you totally agree that some of the decisions can determine who we are gonna be. And when we check on these human decisions affecting maybe our life, our lifestyle, will it be a rich lifestyle or a poor lifestyle, is also theological, depending on what dimensions you're really checking it. And the of course the another consequence, because poverty is seen as consequence. Number one was human decision. Number two is policies and social systems. Now I want us to combine theologically. I want us to combine theological and psychological. I want to combine these perspectives. The first one also, the first point I'm gonna, after combining them, I found is Christian social teachings. Many Christian denominations and theologians promote a Christian social teaching which emphasizes the importance of addressing the social and economic issue. This perspective encourages believers to actively engage in efforts to alleviate poverty and promote social justice. So, when we combine them both, this is how they work. And the first point was Christian social teachings. And if there is one thing I want to comment there, is that when we combine theological and sociological, now you're able to come with the CST, the Christian social teaching, the religious social teaching, RST. Because when you combine theological and the sociological perspective, so that you can come up with a clear solution, with a clear point of how you're gonna omit poverty or alleviate poverty, you actually end up having that point as one of the things. And I love how churches are doing right now, because they are empowering. The churches are empowering many young people, and empowering also old people and the community members, mostly here in Africa. And to be specific, because I've not been in all parts of Africa, I've only been in Kenya. So I'm talking about Kenya. And the other point, so that we can conclude, is balance of material and spiritual concern. You know, there is one day when I had, I don't remember the situation very well, but what I can remember is that a man of God was teaching about prosperity, and there are many people had so many things to talk about. So now the second one, the balance of material and spiritual concern. Well, some Christians teachings, some Christian teachings caution against the love of money and emphasize spiritual values. And we say when we say that some Christian teaching caution against the love of money, there is a point where Jesus was talking about the love of money. I don't know if I can see that verse. Oh no. So I didn't find it, but I will. But in 1 Timothy, as we read, chapter 6, verse 10, it says, "For the love of money is not the root of all, for the love of money, is the root of all evil." Got distracted there, don't worry. So, this point, while some Christians teaching cautions against the love of money, these were words from Paul to who? To Timothy. And you know what money does? Money is not a bad thing, it only brings some snares. Yeah, it only brings some snares. So, uh, and emphasize spiritual values. Others recognize the importance of addressing material needs. The Bible includes numerous verses encouraging believers to care for the poor and needy. The Bible is saying because God knew there would be this uh, there would be this imbalance in the community, and even in the time of Jesus, before Jesus, there were poor and rich people. Do you remember the story of Lazarus and rich man? Do you remember? And now, because I don't want to take much time in this video, I wanted to do a summary or to conclude. Now, within Christianity perspective on poverty, within Christianity, perspective on poverty can vary. Some may see poverty as the result of human action, social structures, and systemic injustice, while others may view it as part of God's plan with a call for responsible stewardship and social injustice. Many Christians advocate for addressing both the spiritual and material dimension of poverty, recognizing the interconnectedness of this aspect. Ultimately, a discussion about poverty in context of Christianity involved a announced understanding of theological and sociological factors. So we're gonna be checking because these factors, these theological and sociological factors, when we check on theological factors, the number one is religion, where we have Christianity, religion beliefs. You know, religious teachings and beliefs vary widely, and there is no single universal intention within all religions regarding wealth and the financial status of individuals. Different religious traditions have diverse perspective on wealth, poverty, and the pursuit of material success. Here are some of the perspective from various religious traditions that we're going to be checking on the coming video. Number one, we check on what Christianity believes on, yeah, and another one is what Islam believes. The second one is Buddhism, what they believe, yeah, and Hinduism. All this and Judaism will be the last. Judaism will be the last. We're going to be checking out for 6 of them only. And I don't wish to spend another time. May God bless you.